Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm a fairly new CEO in Moen Marin. I'm passing 6 months in 10 days, so hopefully I'll make it through this session also. But I worked in the industry for oil and gas industry for more than 25 years. But I've taken out the black shot and moved into the green sector. So I'm trying to get out of the hydrocarbon world and into the new energy sector. And my background, I'm from north of Norway, from Lakselv. I have a family of 3. My hero is one of my granddads who lived as a fisher and farmer and probably had the same CO2 footprint in his lifetime as I have in a year or a week or half a year, depending on if I flew to China or not. So we, of course, lived in a different world. And this is a drawing from my daughter, who's turning 10. And this is a reminder that this is what they see out there. They saw a world, or have a belief in a world that existed that was green. And what we have produced and created for our children is something that they don't necessarily look forward to join in on. So our job is, of course, to take it back and make it closer to what it was. And that's our mission in Moen. We are here to empower sustainable marine solutions and make it happen for the industry. We are delivering vessels today, hybrid and fully electric vessels, and we are dedicated to be part of that transition. So why is it important? As I said to you, I'm from the north, and we already see that we have climate refugees. So why do we have climate refugees? Everyone who works in the fisheries or in the aquaculture industry now see challenges. And this year, the sea temperatures have been high all over Norway. And this is not something that we don't know. It's just something that we haven't done anything with. It's recognized, it's knowledge, and if we don't do anything, we are in a scenario where some of the aquaculture industry will not be able to operate in the southern part of Norway. You will only be able to operate as is in the northern part of Norway. So this is a problem for the industry. It's a problem for us in the room, and we have to be part of the solution because there's no one else to do it. So for us who deliver ships, we're part of an industry who have a huge emission even compared to the oil and gas industry. So we cannot hide and blame anyone else. The oil and gas industry will be electrified, they will reduce, and in the end they will also close down, and then we will be one of the biggest sectors. So for the fishing industry, for the aquaculture industry, taking the green transition serious is important because we will be fronted. And we cannot solve it as we have been doing today. That's the big learning. You cannot, I worked in the oil and gas industries. I'm impressed with some of the largest oil companies' sustainable image on Dagens Næringsliv. I'm not so impressed when I talk with them in person and have been a supplier to them. So we cannot listen to everyone who speaks about the green transition. We actually have to work at it on a lower level and in the local societies around Norway. And we have to enable people who are operating, who are fishermen or working in the aquaculture industry to operate green. So what have we learned in Moen? It's more than a fuel carrier problem, or it's more than a fuel problem. It's a system problem. You will hear, if you were in Arendal Week or you read something, it's an energy problem. We don't have electricity everywhere. There's a technology is here, but you have to select it. It might cost you more money, it might be more challenging, but you have to embrace it. If not, it ain't going to happen. And you see that operating in with this new technology requires much more of us, from all of us, for now. It's like the electrical car, tough on the first one, maybe easier on the last one. And we're still in transition. So people are still moving. We're still selling hybrid. The first generation are still struggling, but some are already on the other side and starting to think how they really can improve and do this better. So what is this transition? So our biggest challenge is, of course, this fixed hydrocarbon problem. There's technologies and solutions and infrastructure built over hundreds of years in Norway and other countries to support the hydrocarbon. Fixed solutions, fixed operating problem, you try, and you just want to change out the fossil fuel with something else, but that's not going to work. We don't have anything that's good as fossil. So you have to think of it as a system problem, and you have to work in all different aspects to make this happen. And that's challenging. It's challenging for us as a technology supplier. It's challenging for the companies using the new technology, but we have to work together, and we have to work on all these fronts. So what are we doing? This is how a location boat in the aquaculture is operating. And basically, if you take that into a graph, they're steaming. They're waking up in the morning, steaming out to the location, take some coffee, and then they start working on the location, and then they go back. In theory, with the vessels that we are delivering from Moen, they can operate fully electric. Of course, you still have you still need to have charging abilities, and that's where I'm back on the system problem. So enabling people is also enabling the aquaculture and the fishery to go green is also enabling power on the right location. But it's possible. And we see, and when we speak with people who have started the transition, this is Angelsen Senior, one of the first hybrid fishing vessels that we deliver. They are able to operate almost fully electric with a very small battery pack. So it's possible. But if I spoke to him last week, he was going out from in the northern part of Finnmark, and he have now fixed power and can charge power ashore in Lofoten, but he doesn't have any solution in Finnmark where he's fishing right now. So we have to enable these first movers. We have to be creative, and we really have to make sure that they can continue the track, because there will be some leaders and there will be some laggers, but these leaders need our support. So we know that there's a business case. We know that it's possible, but it requires some energy from green energy. It's possible to do the investment. You will get an ROI, but also for the people operating, especially in the aquaculture industry, is of course it's a more silent vessel. You have less emissions. It's better for fish health. So there's a lot of pluses to the operation, not only the saved money. So there's a long-term win-win for the industry, and not at least the people who are working on these vessels. So the transition is like always. We have to start today, and that's what we're doing in Moen, because there is no right moment. And if we keep waiting for the right moment, of course, there will be no transition. Everyone knows that this is not a let's wait and see problem, because that's what we've been doing so far, and it's not working. So we have to start now. There are some carrots out there, and there are good carrots. We have used a lot of them. We've used Enova, we've used Innovation Norge, and we also have some funding from EU. So there are funding available. I wouldn't say that it's functioning as well for the fishery sector as it's done for the aquaculture sector. So there, even on the framework and the support from the fisheries, we have to do more. And because the whip is coming, and we need also a whip. It's like everything. You need a whip. You need a reminder. It's not just carrot. If you're going to go on the gym, you also need to whip yourself and say, I have to get out there in action. And they are coming. They're coming from policymakers like Sjøfartsdirektoratet. I love to see zero emission on boats below 15 meters. I love to see zero emissions on boats under 24 meters. I want to see it, because then people like us can work with the industry with the green solutions, use the carrots, because the whip is coming and it's a timeline. And in the end, if the industry doesn't react, I think the consumer will. So it's getting harder and harder for people to hide behind the hydrocarbon mindset. It's possible, you can do it, but in the end, your judge will be the consumer, who will not accept that you're allowed to do it. And in the end, we shouldn't accept polluting and making our own life, taking our own stocks of fish at risk because we want to use hydrocarbon and doesn't want to go green. So in summary, green transition is on our job. It's this generation who will have to do it. I'm 50 years old. White male is a condition, not the age. It's us who are in charge who has to do it. There's no one else. Our kids are looking for us, and it has to happen in our lifetime. It's affecting our business today, whether you like it or not. You might earn a lot of money because of this. If you're a service vessel boat and the temperature is high, it's more work. But it's affecting our long-term business. It's not sustainable. The technology is here. It requires new and system thinking. We have to use the carrot because the whip is coming and we have to start now. So we can't wait for the right moment. But there's a problem with all of this. That you will only remember 5% of what I said. So this is the learning curve. So I know on all of these lectures, you will only remember 5% of what I said. So what can you actually do today? You can go and see one of our hybrid vessels. So how is this technology actually looking? Take a trip down to Skansen and go and look at it. You can discuss something about the green transition, how important it is, what you can do, and will increase your percentage of remembering how important it is. You can do something. You can come and buy a vessel from us. That's really good. You can come and buy a vessel for us. Or if you have already bought a vessel, go and tell anyone else and everyone else why they should buy a hybrid or fully electric vessels. Because this transition is just have to happen, and we're here to help the industry. We don't have all the answers, but we're happy to participate, and we have started. Thank you.
Very much, Bernt, for such a nice presentation. So we have time for a couple of questions. Please, anyone having questions? Okay. I don't see, but I have a question. How profitable is this business now for you at the starting point?
It's profitable. I'm just taking over as a CEO, so they have done a lot of good and right things as previous CEO, and it's a great company, so it's profitable. And it's profitable, I think, because they took a lot of brave moves in moving early to hybrid vessels. They were able to take some of the carrots from Enova and take some early decision to actually select to deliver hybrid vessels. And they were also been able to have dialogue with customers who are, a lot of our customers see the same problem and are willing to take that risk. So it's possible. We take Moen Marin is a little bit different compared to another shipbuilder because we build vessels for stock, so for the lager. That means that we can take some technology risks. So it means that the company can take a technology risk. But that means also that we can take technology risk before the client or the customer knows that they have to take it. And that's what we've done. So that's what, then you become a first mover, but you're also enabling the first mover clients to come and see those vessels and see them functioning. And it's not, part of my message here, it's not that this is simple, it requires more. It's close cooperation with the customers. The operator of the vessels have to trust it. It's more complex with system and hybrid. Everyone who drive the hybrid the first time or the first electrical car, there was something to learn. So that's we're still there, but I see more and more of our customers are part of that journey. And I see also some of like Movi and Salmar and these companies are putting requirement on hybrid propulsion systems on when they're hiring in vessels. So there are forces helping us to be relevant and take these risks, and that's where we want to be.
I'm happy that there are people investing in sustainable future of marine and green transition fisheries. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we don't have time for more questions. So my pleasure. Thank you.